panelists and participants. Bharti Vidyapeeth's Institute of Computer Applications and Management, BVI CAM, in association with Computational Intelligence Society CIS chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Computer Society CS chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Technology and Engineering Management Society TEMS chapter of IEEE Delhi section, System Man and Cybernetics SMC Society chapter of IEEE Delhi section, Communication Society of IEEE Delhi section, Consultants Network Affinity CNA Group of IEEE Delhi section, Life Member Affinity LMA Group of IEEE Delhi section, Inter-Society Relations IRS Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi section, Industry Relations and Special Interest Group on Humanitarian Technology, Site Standing Committee of IEEE Delhi sections, with the Associations of Computer Society of India, Institute of Information Technology Professionals, IITP, ISTE Delhi section, and IETE Delhi Center as technical collaborators. Welcome you all today to this webinar on generative AI. It is a moment of pride and honor to announce that we, with united hands, mark special contribution for the monumental occasions Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, an initiative to celebrate 75 years of glorious independence, as well as contribute our bit in seeking to find practical global solutions for the benefit of all. The aim of India during its G20 presidency tenure in 2023. This webinar is an initiative to mark both these monumentous occasions, Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, as well as our G20 presidency. According to Hendrik Van Loon Smith Jr., CEO of Mayflower Plymouth, in an era of generative AI, trust will accrue greater value in the marketplace. People will elevate trust on their list of prerequisites to purchase and prerequisites to engage with content. Furthermore, there will be a redistribution of income and assets from companies and peoples who are less trusted to those companies and people who are more trusted. Generative AI thus refers to those machine learning models that create new data like input data. This is a key feature as it can produce entirely new data. Generative AI techniques include neural networks, variational autoencoders, generative adversarial networks, and recurrent neural networks. They can generate text, images, music, and video. Applications of generative AI include creating synthetic data for training other machine learning models and generating new content for creative industry. The webinar today aims to discuss all these aspects and applications of generative AI. I would first take this opportunity to welcome amongst us our distinguished panelists for the day. We are privileged to have amongst us our galaxy of experts. I welcome all our experts today to this session. I would now welcome amongst us Professor M.N. Huda, sir, who has joined us. And I would request, sir, to open the session with his welcome address.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, everyone. And like always, today also the technology was restricting me. Technology was telling, don't join. And since last almost 7-8 minutes, I was struggling. And finally, I succeeded to join. I said, no, I'm not artificial intelligence. I'm a natural intelligence. So artificial intelligence cannot stop me. But finally, we have succeeded. Thank you so much. At the outset, let me take the opportunity to welcome my today's valued speaker, Mr. Vijay Arora, who has taken time to accept our invitation first and being here with all of us to enlighten us about generative AI, which is the hot topic, the buzzword in today's time. I also take this opportunity to welcome all my friends from various professional societies, Mr. Daman, the chairperson of Public Relations and Publicity Committee, IEEE Delhi section, Mr. Ajay Goel, of course, a great source of strength to me, and the chairperson of Industry Relations Committee, Professor P.S. Grover, the former head and the dean, head of Department of Computer Science and the dean Mathematical Sciences, University of Delhi, and a professor of eminence in this country. And I have many senior people. I have Professor R.K. Vyas, the former president of Computer Society of India. I have General Ajay Chandele, and the former national president Computer Society of India. I have Professor K. Subramaniam, the former chairperson of IEEE Delhi section, and many of my very senior friends who did not wish to be named have joined in attendee list, and many of them are at the level of the vice chancellor. So thank you so much to all of you for having joined these sessions. Friends, this is a 121st lecture series of IEEE IET BVI weekly evening Saturday webinar, which way back in June 2020 we started in the backdrop of COVID-19. And then from then almost most of the time every week, and sometime on alternate week, we are continuing that. And today's webinar, which is 121st, is on such a topic, which is the talk of the day: generative AI. How and in which way generative AI or various applications using generative AI, particularly like ChatGPT, are going to disturb the order of the day. In which way it is going to change the way we live, the way we do business, the way we make transactions, the way we interact with each other. How are they going to change? If in previous time we needed a biodata, we needed a profile, or we needed to write a very specialized letter, what we used to do, we used to take help of some specialist and used to ask someone कि आपने शायद ऐसा कोई लेटर बनाया होगा, can you give me a template of that letter, can you give me a format of that letter, or can you suggest me that what all should be included in that. But in today's time, if you need any such help, go to ChatGPT, write your question, and the ChatGPT will give you answer. That is the application of generative AI. Yesterday late evening, we were enjoying family time in the home, maybe around 11:30 to 12 midnight. And out of discussion, we thought that let's ask to ChatGPT that what are the ideal properties of what are the expected properties in an ideal wife, and started giving ChatGPT started giving wonderful answers. But the beauty of that answer was, of course, all those trustworthiness, confidence, supportive, caring, all these adjectives they mentioned, they explained that. But finally, what ChatGPT did that, whatever I am mentioning, all these are subjective, may vary from person to person. And then I ask a ChatGPT that how can I fool you or I can deceive you? And this generative AI was very interesting answer giving me that, look, you cannot fool me because I am a machine. Don't try to fool me. And the second, fooling someone is unethical. Don't do unethical activity. And I was so excited after knowing this answer from the chat GPT. That's the kind of the beauty which artificial intelligence is going to have. But please understand, wherever artificial intelligence is going to take to all of us, there are two things which at a bottom line we must understand. First, we should be in a position to control the technology, not the technology should be in a position to control us. That is the first bottom line. And the second important bottom line is that whatever happens, wherever generative AI goes, whatever kind of flexibility generative AI gives us, of course, the many of the repetitive tasks and the task which doesn't need too much of intelligence, but consolidation, consistency, etc., or repetitive into the nature, can always be done with the help of AI-based system, generative AI particularly. But at the same time, if it needs a very extraordinary degree of intelligence, that job cannot be done by any machine which has got artificial intelligence and not natural intelligence. And that's how I always say that why all these experts are here, because in today's advancement, in today's time, it is possible that one computer or one AI machine can do the job of thousand many people put together. But despite all these advancements, it is not at all possible that that maybe even thousand many computers put together can do the job of one extraordinary person. That is the reason why we all are still needed. The AI is AI and natural intelligence is natural intelligence. With this note, I would like to say that as a student of computer science, as a student, as a teacher, having taught AI for close to 15 years, and during the time when no one wanted to study AI, no one wanted to read artificial intelligence, during that period, I have taught artificial intelligence, and I still believe that artificial intelligence is going to be the so pervasive, is going to be the order of the day, and not only the educated people, even everyone who is connected to the environment will be using AI in one or other way. That's the kind of the beauty with the AI. And that's how I always say, टेक्नोलॉजी के लिए जो दो पंक्तियां मैंने लिखी थी कि ओ टेक्नोलॉजी के मुसाफिर तुम्हें अभी बहुत दूर जाना है, ओ टेक्नोलॉजी के मुसाफिर तुम्हें अभी बहुत दूर जाना है, पत्थरों पे गुलाब खिलाना है और आंधियों में चिराग जलाना है। ये एआई और एआई जैसी टेक्नोलॉजी से हम एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे हैं। विद दिस नोट आई वुड लाइक टू कंक्लूड so that my valued speaker today can enlighten us that how and in which way industry is looking forward. What is the perception of industry? What's the perspective of the industry about the applicability, about the utilization of the generative AI related technologies? With this note, every week we have one or other webinar. Please join our webinars after webinars. That will be for benefit to all of us, and more importantly, that is a great encouragement to my team who, despite being off on Saturday, despite being at home, they take so much of pain to organize these webinars. That will be a motivation to all my speakers who, despite being busy in their own professional life, say yes to us and come to us. So with this note, कि फिर मिलेंगे और ज़रूर मिलेंगे, कि फूलों की तरह फिर खिलेंगे हम, फूलों की तरह फिर खिलेंगे हम, और अगले सैटरडे एक नए टॉपिक के साथ फिर मिलेंगे हम। थैंक यू सो मच, विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट, गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल। Dr. Ritika, Professor R.K. Vyas is here, and let's invite him for 2 minutes address on the topic.
Sure, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
So thank you, sir. I, I would now next invite Professor R.K. Vyasa to kindly welcome the audience today. Sir, you are on mute. Please unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now I hope I'm audible now.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Good evening to all. Good evening, Professor Huda. Good evening to my seniors, Professor Grover, General Chandele, and obviously our speaker of the day, Mr. Vijay Aroda, who will be talking to us on generative AI. And I hope as we are passing through 121st webinar, if I am not wrong today, so we have really made a chunk of knowledge which is available on the YouTube and other sites of the Bharati Vidyapeeth. And now the time has come that this knowledge base has to be used to generate some artificial intelligence about from this. And I hope these topics will be covered by Mr. Aroda. He will be talking about how this AI will help us. And in the end, I was also request Mr. Aroda to tell us how it will be disruptive and how it can harm us also after some time, because the things which are seen rosy at times, they are really at times, because as Professor Huda तो अभी एक शेर सुना देते कि हर फूल के साथ एक कांटा भी होता है. So I am not that कहते हैं so in शेरो शायरी, but I hope every thing which is really generative and talks about many things and gives us many opportunities for future technologies and future things. But obviously there are certain drawbacks and there are certain problems also. So I hope Vijay ji will talk about all these things. And these sessions, as usual, when we have got different sessions from all, I think 120 webinars, today is 121st. Everything is very interesting, very knowledgeable, and latest topic which we have developed since the this pandemic has come, and this is continuing, and I wish that this should continue till we can. I hope we will be doing it till the end. Thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Professor Huda, Ritika, and management of Bharati Vidyapeeth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the motivating words. I would now welcome amongst us our expert speaker, Mr. Vijay Arora, sir, with an e-bouquet.
Thank you, Dr. Ritika. Thank you very much. Please let me share my screen. If it is visible.
Yes, sir. Yes, just a minute, sir. Vijay sir is an expert in different fields of software industry. As an associate director of technology in Nagaro, he aids in multiple accounts and helps many teams on many different technology fronts. As a solution architect, he is developing architecture and technical roadmap for software applications. As an AI expert, he has experience working with a range of different machine learning models, including supervised and unsupervised learning, deep learning, and reinforcement learning. I welcome you today to this session, sir, and would now request you to kindly enlighten the House.
Thank you, Dr. Ritika. Thanks, everyone. Please let me know once my screen is visible.
Yes, sir. You can now start. Yes, sir. The PPT is now visible.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
So this word generative AI, thank you, everyone. Thanks for, giving me this opportunity to explain this one. So today's agenda will be, we will start from, from the basics, like what is generative AI, how it impacts, what are the different major tech giants are working in this area, how are different use cases, and a quick demo to give, that because only theoretical things will never, that give us a clear opportunities. So we will also present with the quick demos. We will also talk about what are the risks, how it is going to impact on the different industries. And then we will also, we can also talk about what could be the next steps from the different perspective. So let's start. So this word generative AI, how it comes into the picture. So till 6 months or, till 6 to 8 months ago, we were only, talking about, we now categorize this AI, the earlier AI, if I will say, not the generative AI, as a discriminative AI. The discriminative AI means all the previous machine learning models, we have the control on top of that. So for example, if we are taking an example of classification or clustering, so if we have an image, we were only talking to the machine and asking them, is this an image for a cat or a dog? So we have the control on the particular algorithms. We are only talking to the machines, in terms of let us know what is this machine. We are just taking help of the machines. But now, with the help of generative AI, if we talk about, the difference is generates. This word generate means machines are now capable to generate the data. They are not only dependent on the data which we are providing them or feeding it to them. They are now capable enough to generate new data based upon the information we are providing to them, based upon the samples we are providing, based upon the specifications, based upon the machine learning models. Now, they are not even able to generate the data. They are able to generate images, samples, any kind of videos or any kind of audio. So we just name of the section and generative AI can generate data in that specific. If we look at the timelines, for this, I'm sorry if this my screen is covering up. So in 2017, it has been started with the Google Brain, where they have started with, artificial intelligence related to the deep learning techniques or RNNs or CNNs with this one. In 2019, there is a company, OpenAI, which got a funding of 1 billion from Microsoft, and they have released a first large language model based upon that, the GPT-2. This is the first transformer model for that. In 2020, during the pandemic, OpenAI has come up with the updated version of that transformer model with 175 billion parameters. So this model, this large language model is not trained on few, even trillion. It's 175 billion parameters they have started. In 2021, even Google have come up with now, the language model, which they are talking about Lambda, and it is having the 137 billion parameters. If we see just 6 months ago, how the ChatGPT has taken the world as a storm, it has taken 5 years to reach 10 million users to WhatsApp. ChatGPT have gone 12 million users in 2 months. That is how it has taken to the world as a storm. Now, if we see where are we in 2023, advancements like that we have the dancing robots, we have the mid journey, we have many kind of image generation tools. So this is the era where many things are coming up, and even the open source community is very vibrant in this one. They are coming up not even with the technical giants, they are coming up with the Bloom or other Hugging Face community models are coming in this direction. Where GAI, no, I will not say generative AI, it's a short term, it's a GAI, where it is. Actually, that in today's era, where it is. So if we just come up with the diagram, earlier we had the world of artificial intelligence. Then we have done a little bit deep dive where we have gone and we said now we are expert in machine learning. Then we were talking about some artificial brains, we are trying to create some CNNs, RNNs with the help of machine learning algorithms. But now this new kid on the block, generative AI, is a combination of everything. It's a combination of artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning. Everything is now covered up with the generative AI. This is where generative AI is. If we talk about what makes generative AI? Generative AI contains majorly two portions. One is GANs, generative adversarial networks, where we have two different network. One is the generator network, which will always try to create a new data, a fake data, and a discriminator network, which will evaluate, is it that sample is equivalent to the real or is it fake? So that is how machines are learning to generate the data. So there are two competing, basically the two artificial brains are working and competing with each other, where one is generating the data, another one is evaluating, is this generated data equivalent to the real or is it a fake data? And once they will reach up to the level where the generated sample or the generated data is equivalent to the real, they will stop fighting with each other and they will come up with the output. The other, sorry, the other generative pre-trained transformer GPTs, everyone is aware with the chat GPT models, the large language model, which can train themselves on the large data set. So like we were talking about in the previous slide in the 175 billion parameters. So these are the large data set. And now, like Professor Huda was saying, how it comes with the chat GPT. So now with the chat GPT, they are able to generate human-like text. I always say, that as a human, we are talking about when there is a new kid, we are always teaching them the new language, A, B, C, D. And then after that, human brain will always, start learning with the sentences, with the words. This is how this generative AI is. We will feed them, with the A, B, C, D, and then they will start learning themselves just like with the help of these generative network and the discriminator network. What tech giants are doing actually, how the tech giants are coming up and they're taking this particular space. What are they doing basically? So if we talk about Microsoft have acquired OpenAI with the 1 billion funding in the 2019, and now they're coming up with every product not even their Bing, everything, whether it's a cloud, whether it's application development, whether it's a simple daily usable Microsoft Office, have the AI capabilities. So if we just take, and even not even for this world, they are also, that coming up with the software development world, where every tech giant is coming up with their another product to generate the code from the samples. Like for example, if I will take a GitHub Copilot, this is the Microsoft product. And if you look at the Copilot, they are even marketing as a your AI pair programmer. So for example, if two developers are working, now what we can do is we can just write a prompt in our Visual Studio Code and it will generate the code. Now even the no language specific is pending over there, no even a syntactical things are there. So these are the tools which are able to help us out. If we go back to the Microsoft 365 Copilot, even all the coding part with the AI, they are coming up within these products with the AI. The key person what we have is Eric Horowitz from the Microsoft, who is currently leading this particular stuff. If we come to the Google, now what Google is doing, now this is Microsoft is doing what Google is doing. Google is again coming up with a lot of different tools, and again they are also coming up with the artificial intelligence. Like for example, if I talk about the Studio Bot, so they are providing the artificial intelligence just as an alternative software development tool in the Android development. So if we just see, Studio Bot is now again the coding companion in the Android development. So every large technical giants are coming and updating even their products and services. That is the impact of AI currently what we have. If we talk about the Amazon is again building the coding copilot, if I will say, or the name of that coding copilot is Amazon Code Whisper. We can use it free, we can have different plans. So every company have their product and every company have their different plans, but these things are available. Now, if we see, a few of the things, like these are the companies, these are the products who are driving the technical industry, but how it is going to impact on our daily life. If we see, one of the example is Amazon Bedrock. So if we want to build such kind of a capability, like for example, if you want to build a capability voice to text or speech to text, earlier it was provided by the cloud services. In terms of, if we talk about Microsoft, they were providing it as in cognitive services. If we talk about IBM was providing around 4 or 5 years back as a the IBM Watson services. This what these cloud services were doing, that is very premium kind of a stuff around 3 to 4 years back. What they were doing is they are taking your audio and converting into the text. But now all these services, all these features are available easily to us as well, and we can also develop that. Now if you look at the different use cases, what this Amazon Bedrock can do, they can generate the text, they can provide you the chatbots, they can provide you the enterprise search, a knowledge management platform, they can provide you a text summary. So text summary, in case if you have anything large article and you want to summarize it into the 5 to 7 word lines, it can do it automatically. Image generation. So all of these services are available with the cloud, with the tech giant cloud services, and all of these are available on very cheap prices. The key persons in Google is working the Jeff Dean, and the key person in Amazon, the Rohit Prasad, what we can follow. Now, I think enough a kind of, we can have this generative AI. Now we would like to see what it can do. So let's just try to understand. If I will say which face is real, can anyone identify which face is real? So one of the image is generated by the machine learning. One of the image is generated by it's uploaded one. Now click on the person who is real. I click on one. That's incorrect. If I will, go again and try to check it out, which one is real? It's incorrect. If I will click on left, this is incorrect. So that is how you know that is even coming to see us. This is real or not. And these are the images. Even we can't identify. Now, if I look at the person, this person, what we are looking for does not exist in this world. This person does not exist on this earth, but we have the image. Now, if we want to generate an image based upon our inputs with our, the classifications, we can go with anything. We can go with male. We can go with any age like 19 to 20, 5 years. What is the ethnicity? It could be Asian. And if I just refresh, it will generate an image of a person who does not exist on this world. If I would just go back and I will say Indian, 26 to 35 years. This is the image of a Indian person who does not exist, who does not have the Aadhaar card actually, if I will say. So, so this is the, this is how AI is actually coming. Now, if we talk about few popular tools, like the tech giants are doing, like for example, the GitHub Copilot provided by Microsoft, Amazon Code Whisper, or a studio bot provided by as an AI programmer from the Google. But still there are, few tools we can talk about. The popular one is the GitHub Copilot, which is used for the development as an AI programmer, and the Chat GPT, which is used to generate a text like human. But what are the different features? So if we see the type, one having a feature of code automation, the another one can generate the code or a train as a human person or as my human friend to me if I'm going and asking or taking any help. The GitHub Copilot can generate the code based upon a specific user input or a specific user prompt. ChatGPT can generate the text. GitHub Copilot can generate the code any kind of programming language. So now if a person knows a simple English and a prompt, they will just plain write. So for example, write a method for upload an Excel on the GitHub. Now the syntax not matters. It can generate the code in Python, in JavaScript, in Java, or any programming language. If we talk about the Chat GPT, not limited to programming language. It can generate, it can even optimize your code. Even if your code is not perfect and you want to optimize it, you don't need any expert. You just go to these tools, provide your code block and ask it optimize this, and it will optimize it. It will explain you what is the optimization, what is the error as well. That is the where even technical giants are in the market right now. Learning process, it is easy. We just need to, for to learn the code AI pair programming or our GitHub Copilot, we just need to be expert in the proper prompt engineering. ChatGPT is already trained, so it will train itself as soon as the user is going for a specific pattern. If we are going for accuracy, we can say GitHub Copilot can provide you accuracy up to 60 to 70%, but still these are machines. That is where they are lacking. Human interventions are always required. Humans are a super intelligent people, if I will say. AI can support us, but they cannot replace us. So accuracy, if we will talk about, they can generate the code, but what is required, what is not, or some kind of, in case what we have also observed, if we are talking about any business, complex business logic or rules that cannot be generated by these tools. So that is where human intelligence are always required. Then if you talk about the limitations, yes, it could give you some, a kind of off the topic if we go for the Chat GPT, or it can give you some biased answers. GitHub Copilot can sometimes, if they will not be able to understand, then they will give you the wrong code output. So these are the few limitations also there. And the purpose is there are specific tool for a specific purpose. Like for example, GitHub Copilot are only used for coding. ChatGPT is only for kind of to generate the human-like text, not more than that. The use cases we were talking about, that how it can generate the images, how it can summarize it, how it can, do the voice generation. So let's see few of the demos already available over the internet and we can access it. Now, like for example, if we talk about image generation, if we go to text to image, how it can generate an image for me. So if I'm going and enter it, for example, create a horse. Will it? So it has been created a horse for me. If I want to fill some colors with blue color, I want with gray eyes. Now this is there, it fails. So sometimes it gives you the details or sometimes it will not. Now, for example, if I go for the image modification, I have this simple. So this is SDGAN for the generative adversarial network. If I will see, I have two patterns over here. So it change all it on the left to right, and from the top to bottom, it goes for different methods. Now on the right hand side, I want to generate a picture with different authenticity and other stuff with the combination of different patterns. Will it generate? Yes. So if you see, it is generating the different patterns from top to bottom, from left to right. Now see, these are the different pictures it is generating. If I want to change all, I want to generate new stuff. So all of these are available and we can do it via web app. We are generating the images. So for example, if I want to go for ID3 and I want to make a mixture of ID4. Now let's see how it can generate. These are the different images generated for us, for these people. These are the image modifications, how it will go for, from the beautification or not. The third, if I will say, for generating the 3D images, we need specific people. We need UI UX people. Now, if we go for 2D to 3D image, if I have a 2D image, I want to create a 3D model for that, that is also available. If I go for plane, so for example, if you see, this is the left picture of a plane and it has created a 3D model from there. If I have this image, this has been created a 3D model from there. And this is not only limited to one, it is limited to anywhere. So we don't need any specific. So for example, if we are going into the metaverse, into the assisted reality, many things can only be done once we are having the 3D models. In case if we have the 2D images, we can create the 3D objects from there. If we go back to home, if I just want to take a speaker, for example, if this is the speaker, this is the 3D model for that. And I can just I can just see it. So if we take a table, for example, for any particular, like a site for Amazon, in case if I am reselling my products and I want to create a 3D models for my images, I can also do that. So if this is the image, I can create this 3D model from there. So this is how even the image generation are there. Like for example, now, if I go to the text summarizer, I have a very long article and now I want to summarize it in next 5 to 7 lines. Any URL, we can take any URL like maybe Microsoft.com. So if we have this article and if we want to summarize this particular page, we just need to enter this URL here and say summarize now in 6 lines. It will summarize it. And this is all live. This is all live. Till the time it is coming up with different, I can go for and ask for generative AI articles. If I go to this article, if this is a very big article, we can go for. So this is a text summary. This is how it is coming up. Now, if we go for text to voice, now here, if we want to see the how it can generate the text. So if I will say, how are you? And I want to listen in English US in the voice of a David, I can convert it and it will speak it. How are you? If I want to convert my text to speech, I'm good. Can we be friends? If I convert this, it will again, I am good, can we be friends? So this is how, all the, these are the different use cases we can do. And, these are the things we can actually come up with the stuff. So these are the different use cases we can come up and generate that. Now, what could be the risks? The risks are with the generative AI, if I will say, these are biased. So for example, because everything is generated by the data. So if we give an inputs in terms of a very, very biased data, not the balanced data. Balanced data, I mean to say, in terms of it contains everything, not for a specific relative data, then it could be not biased. But if we will feed the data as a biased one specific to a specific objective, then it can generate the biased data. This could be the one risk we have. The another is the very biggest one, the misinformation and fake contents. Like I have just shown you, the fake images can be created. The people who does not exist on the earth, this can be generated. And the distinguish, like we have just talk about which face is real or not. So even we can't, take, or we can't even identify, like, is it generated by AI or is it the natural one? So fake content can be published. The another risk, if we talk about intellectual property or the copyright, it could have impact on the copyright activity as well. If we talk about the ethical implications, like the consent, data privacy, security, that can also happen. The in just a recent days, if we just look at the news, there is a recent happened an incident where Samsung data has been leaked by the chat GPT. So this is where that even few ethical implications related to consent, privacy are also there. Who is responsible, who is accountable for a specific data? This could be the another area where it can be debatable. So these are the few risks which we are talking about and can be taken care of. How it will impact the future? So in case if we talk about the education market or education only, it will help the students, it will help the faculties in terms of students can go, like for example, with the help of chat GPT, they can come on and they can ask for the, can you write a poem, or can you write a essay, or can you write a thesis on a particular topic? So students can go, researchers or scholars can go, and they can actually take help from this AI. But over reliance, having more dependency instead on machine based upon the skill set or for any kind of need is can be the harmful, because then we are not using our brains or skills to do something, and we are always dependent upon the machines. Like for example, earlier days when we don't have the smartphone, we were only try to remember the numbers. Even when we don't have the phones in 1994 or 1995, we were used to keep the numbers or memorize it. But now as soon as smartphone or the other things are coming up as an advanced technology, so these things are actually impacting. So that is how, if we will have a over reliance, more dependency on this will be the kind of a problems. But if we take it from a positive way, if we take it as a in a term of personal learning, or we want to take help on this particular activity just like Google, then I think it will be very, very helpful. Now how it is going from the job market, like for example, will it really going to impact the industries? Yes, it will impact the job market. Why? Because anything which is manual nowadays, it can be automated. It can be with the automated transformation, with the different skill sets, or the repetitive jobs. Like Mr. Huda was saying, or Mr. Vyas was saying, Dr. Vyas was saying that can it be used for repetitive work? Yes. Anything which is just needed, not a much human intelligence, that can be done. That can be easily replaceable and doable with the help of AI. Like for example, wherever we want to create some kind of very creative activities like voice to speech to text or text to speech, human bots, chat bots, where it can be helpful. Yes, we should, but it will definitely going to take the jobs as well. For example, if there is something which is a back office jobs, which is repetitive, it is going to impact. But it is again going a new era of the opportunities as well. The robotics, the computer science world, the NASA world, the rocket science, everything is now coming up with the video content. Now, if I say that if we want to create a science fiction movie, maybe it is a just like Bahubali, it is just few years back. But now maybe it is possible after 2 to 3 years, any kind of a general person who needs an opportunity can go and create such kind of a movie with the help of these tools. So these are the new opportunities will come in the market, and education will also be helped. Now consulting. Now what major consulting people are saying? If we talk about Gartner is saying by 2025, by not even very far, just next 2 to 3 years, the large organizations like Google, Microsoft, or Amazon will provide every kind of tool with the help of AI. And maybe, and this is, I'm not saying this is Gartner's word, by 2020 by 2030, maybe after not 6 to 7 years, by 8 or 10 years, a major blockbuster film can be released with 90% generated by AI. I'm not saying this. This is Gartner. The another consulting firm, BCG is also saying we should use this generative AI, this power, but in a right terms, like with the right tools. So for example, if I take an example of a GitHub Copilot, every software developer can use it, but human intervention is always required, but we should use it wisely for scalability. So technology is there to help, not to disrupt. In case if I talk about McKinsey is also saying that maybe the investment, the AI, the other stuff, all of this will come with the help of tools like ChatGPT or the AI generated art. All of these are available, but it will double the investment. So more and more investors will come into this area and they will start investing. And it will provide major job opportunities also. So these are the consulting worlds are saying. In next steps, I would like to that if we have not seen this India AI government portal, please see that. This is the portal from the AI Indian government, and everything is available. This is all updated, and this is really a great initiative, if I will say, from the Indian government. They are providing all resources, all ecosystem, exploring sectors. If we talk about healthcare, FinCare, cybersecurity, or agriculture, every area is going to impact with the help of AI, and this is Indian government is saying. This is the portal. It is accessible. It is updated, and thanks to Indian government for this portal. You can explore it. If you want to build a career in AI, there are many resources are available, but we can go for deep learning AI. This particular portal is providing you many courses on the generative AI, on the mathematicals, deep learning, machine learning specialization, AI. So all of these are available. I have found this really great. The third, before even that we are start using the chat GPT or any human like text tool, which is based upon the large language model, we should learn about the prompt engineering. You will find many guides on the prompt engineering. We should learn about it, how we need to write the prompts. That is actually required. And in the end, if you want to more do a research on the scholarship or a more deep dive, there are more research papers are available which we can find out on archive, and it could have impact on any area. Like for example, if we talk about GANs, this is the generative adversarial networks. It is available over here on every topic, on every topic. So that's how I'm just stopping my today's presentation, and thank you very much for giving me the time. Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you. Thank you, sir. Thank you for the wonderful session. I'm sure this insightful session has enlightened the participants about generative AI and its applications. There are certain questions by the participants which I would now like to take up with your permission, sir.
Please.
So, first question, how susceptible is the large language model of generative AI to a cyber attack?
It again happened like I will give you a very simple example. The large language model, the chat GPT is based upon the large language model. And now with this, with the information, if you see, chat GPT has also cleared many exams, the UPSC exam and the other exams, and this is all on the news. This is all available on the news. So chat GPT for cyber attack, yes, can be used, but again, how we need to take or use it, it depends.
Yes, sir. Next question we have, are generative AI models and applications not a threat to natural human instinct and innovation? Will these not become extinct with no use?
It depends, that even if I will not talk about the generative AI, even the cyber attacks are still happening. So people are still using the black dark or web dark, a dark web, if I will say. So that's all happening. So we cannot say right away that it will be used. How it is going to use by humans, it depends whether it is positive or negative.
Absolutely, sir. So next question we have now, bias, misinformation, and fake content. That too from generative AI. How can people be made cautious of it? And is it a real threat, or it is just something we are imagining a lot at this moment?
No, this is not a, I will say, not a real threat, or we are not even imagining. If the tools are coming from one side for generating the fake content, tools are also available to identify them.
Yes, sir. So one last question. Overall, generative AI seems to be a game changer. How do the engineer, student, as well as the researcher benefit from this?
So, if I will say every big technical organization is coming up with these tools, so first we should start learning that what are they doing, how the big tools are coming up, how big technical companies are coming up. Then we should do a little bit more deep dive, like which tools we need to learn and what all generative AI or generative adversarial networks models we should learn. We should also look at few websites like, for example, Hugging Face, how many different models are available, how we should start using it. And if there are researchers and scholars, they can go to a site which is available. I have just shown on the archive, ARXIV. Many research papers are available over there. And if they want to look or do a research on a particular area, in the AI world, they can also go and check out and even submit their papers over there. That is from the worldwide.
Yes, sir. So thank you, sir. Thank you once again for this wonderful session. I would now request Professor M.N. Huda, sir, to kindly present a certificate to Vijay, sir, as a token for this wonderful session.
Mr. Vijay, thanks is a very simple and straight word, but the way you have delivered, it is not only a thanks which will complement your efforts. So, still, this certification is not for the purpose of certification, but for the purpose of remembrance. I'm aware of the fact that you are at United States of America, and I'm sure it must be morning time.
Yes,
What time is Mr. Vijay there?
it's around 7.
So, dear friends, it is morning 7 a.m. and he was taking this session from United States of America, and that's how the technology and the distribution is working. That till end of the session, none of the participant could know that where from he's talking, and that is how the generative AI in coming days will become so distributive in the nature that the transparency of the location may not be aware that from which server located at which place and from which location and how many servers in total or in distributed manner are going to answer it. So thank you so much, Mr. Vijay. In fact, this topic is evolving, and I think even a full day session may not be sufficient to discuss all possible dimensions, but the way you have explained and narrated in a simplified manner with the help of use cases, that certainly will motivate many of us to go further. And I think we may need to conduct webinars on these topics like generative AI as well as chat GPT and few other generative AI based application apps more frequently, because every coming day some or other new features will be added, and we people will be sensitized that how AI is entering in our day-to-day life in a more pervasive and ubiquitous manner. So thank you so much. Take a rest, and extremely sorry for encroaching upon your morning time, and wish you all the best and good evening from India.
Thanks everyone, and especially thanks to Ajay sir providing me this opportunity. Thank you.
Oh, yes, Ajay is a great source of strength to me. We were talking in the back end that now new webinars need to be planned.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Thank you,
okay,
Vijay.
thank you
Thank
so
you,
much,
Professor
Mr.
Huda.
Thank you.
Ajay.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And dear participants, this meeting room is converted into a facilitation desk, which